Hey everyone, it's Lucy from KBeautyHobbit.com. Today I have another nail tutorial / review for you. I love doing these. I have a whole playlist that I'll link in the description box. I've reviewed Ahura, Dashing Diva, both glaze and gloss, and press-ons. I have nail log and easel and all kinds of different nail videos. I've done nails myself for several years, close to 10 now at home. I even sold some for a brief period of time. I wouldn't say that I'm a professional by any means. I'm just a very experienced personal user, and I love trying new brands of nails. This is Jelcie. It's a semi-cured gel nail sticker that you apply at home and then put under a lamp to cure it all the way. Then they also have an optional top coat, and this was after the first application I've done, so I've tried these before. This is what I had left. I started with a full strip, and this is what was left after one application. It lasted pretty decent on me for about 10 days until my nails just got pretty grown out. But let's get this started. Here's a fresh pack of nails in the color raspberry. I'll put a link where you can get them in the description box. This video is by no means sponsored or required of me. I did get these as PR, but I already did my little required postings about those on Instagram. And actually, if you follow me on Instagram at KBeautyHobbit, I have a nails highlight saved with a whole bunch of different nail brands and things like that, and I show how these wore. The first time I applied these, I had a little lifting / snagging of the hair at the cuticle line of one of my fingernails. I fixed it by putting on a little more top coat, and after that it lasted just fine until I removed them. So I'm not sure if that was a fluke or I didn't apply that nail perfectly or what. So I'm excited to try these again just to see how much better potentially those last. When it comes to nail applications, whether it's polish or gel or stickers or anything, press-ons, prep is the most important thing. I leave the length alone on my nails until I apply the stickers. I'll show you why in a little bit when we get to that point. I prefer my nails pretty short. I washed my hands with soap and avoided any lotions. And then what I do is I push my cuticles back with this little metal spoon. I don't cut my cuticles because you can introduce infection that way. Plus, I'm not a professional by any means, and I tend to just occasionally cut myself, and I don't want that. Pushing them back, however, is essential because you do not want to put a sticker over skin because that's just not going to be a long-lasting manicure. The sticker in the places where it overlaps your cuticle will inevitably lift and just not last as long as it could. So I push that back. If your nails are super long and just uncomfortable to work with, feel free to trim them, but I would leave a little bit of extra length. I'll show you why in a little bit. Then Jelcie recommends roughing up the surface of the nail a little bit. They sent me this little file. It has a grittier side and a slightly softer side. They do feel fairly similar to each other, but I think this one is a little bit softer. Supposedly this helps adhere the stickers a little bit better. I don't typically do that, and I wouldn't recommend you do that very aggressively or anything because any part that's a ridge on the nail is a weak point. And so trying to smooth it out too much will just thin that point out even more, and when it grows out past your fingertip here, it could become a good place for breakage to happen. But let's rough them up just a bit without going too crazy. The stickers do tend to adhere better to surfaces that are not perfectly smooth, so that is probably the rationale behind this step. The next step is to remove any oil or grease off the nails. I use these alcohol prep pads. I get mine at Costco. They're pretty inexpensive. Some of the nail brands will send you little prep pads, but usually I can get more than one application from a set of nails, and occasionally the brand will only include one prep pad. Sometimes they're not very saturated in rubbing alcohol and they're kind of dry, so I prefer to just use my own. If you're using the ones that are included in the kit, that is perfectly okay as well. We're going to pick the size, and err on the side of smaller is better than bigger. You don't want it too small because you don't want too much nail showing on the sides, but going too big will make it overlap your skin, and that's just not going to stick. I kind of know what sizes fit my nails, but let's start with this one. This is the pinky one. These are very long and enough for me to do 2 nails with 1 strip. I'm just going to use my manicure scissors to cut this in 2. Just like that. Peel off the little top piece. And here you can use tweezers or fingers to peel it up. I try not to touch the sticky side of the sticker with my hands aside from the very tip, which I know I'm going to cut off anyway. So put it on, line it up with your cuticle, get as close to the cuticle as you can without actually overlapping it. Let go, and then push it down. I like to pull the skin to the side a little bit, again, so it goes on the nail only and not on the skin. So I grab my finger gently, pull it a little bit so the skin gets out of the way, and then push the sticker down. And I highly recommend using a tool like this one. These are very inexpensive and you can get a big bulk bag of them on Amazon for just a few bucks. I'll put links in the description box. It's a rubber tip cuticle pusher. You can also use it to actually push cuticles away, but I prefer a metal one for that. But this is fantastic for pushing down the nail sticker without denting it. A lot of the times nail brands will include a little orange stick, a little wooden stick that looks kind of like a large toothpick in the kits, but pushing down with those can dent these semi-cured stickers because they're not fully hardened, but this little rubber one doesn't do that, and I feel like it just gets the sticker to adhere to the nail really well and gets into all the nooks and crannies that my fingertip doing this might not necessarily get. It's definitely an optional little tool, but I find that it helps a lot. Let's do another one together, and then I will finish the rest of them off camera because honestly, it is quite difficult to balance all the filming equipment and trying to get all of these stickers on. Okay, so same thing. I'm going to line it up as close to the cuticle as possible because I don't want the growth to show earlier than it needs to, and then kind of let it go. If you mess up a little bit where I did it here, I put it on crooked, you can very, very gently peel it off and retry it. So I don't push my sticker down until I am completely happy with the placement. These are slightly stretchable, so you can grab them and pull sideways to make them a little bit wider. You can pull up and down to make them a little bit more narrow. You definitely can't go up too much in width. Eventually they do get kind of thin, and if you have a design it gets distorted. But if you just need it maybe a millimeter or 2 wider to cover more of the nail area, that is definitely doable. So they look like this. We're going to now trim the excess. This is why I left some of the nail length here, even though these are a little bit too long for me, because when I trim my sticker, I like to trim just a tiny bit of my nail length with it. That way the sticker and the nail are perfectly lined up with each other, perfectly flush with each other, and the sticker is not hanging over the nail because that would definitely catch and not last. Sorry, this is a little unattractive, but you can see a bit of the nail there on the sticker, and that's exactly what I wanted. The official Jelcie instructions tell you to now go ahead and file the ends to make them smooth. It is incredibly difficult to file semi-cured stickers before they've actually been cured, so I'm going to do the filing after I cure these. I'm just going to leave this how they are now, go ahead and finish the rest of the hand off camera, and I will show you the next step after that. I applied the rest of the stickers, trimmed them. The next step is to cure them. Jelcie did send me a lamp as well. It looks like this. It basically looks like any other lamps, like Ahura and Nailog and all of them. They probably all made in the same place and just branded differently, except Jelcie's is nice and shiny and pretty. I am not a big fan of these. These would be okay if you're traveling or if you have one nail to fix and just quickly want to plug them in. Usually the cords are not long enough for me to even reach my table if I plug them in closer to the floor where my outlet is. And I don't like that I can't fit the whole hand under them comfortably. I have seen people do this thing where they hold the hand this way and then try to cure it, but then your thumb is at an angle. I much prefer lamps that can fit the whole hand flat. in them. Of course, those are a lot more expensive. If you are just starting out and you want to try some gel nails and you can get a lamp free with your order or just spend a few dollars on it, that is perfectly fine. This will do. If you're going to do nails all the time, I recommend getting a bigger lamp. I have a bigger one over here. I cured these under the light for 1 minute. So now they're nice and hard, and technically you're done. You can just stop here. However, I want to try their stickers, and I've done one before. That's the one that's missing here, and it lasted really well. So I put that on and then do the top coat and then cure it again. Also at this point, if your nails feel rough at the ends, mine felt pretty smooth. This is when you can file them gently. I would go in one direction, not side to side, to avoid fraying your actual nail or damaging the sticker, but going in one direction works really well. Mine feel pretty smooth. I did file a little bit, a few of the rough spots, but not too bad. And then the last time I did these, I put one of the stickers on. I really liked how that looked and how that lasted. So I'm going to put a couple more on. I already did this one, and then my camera battery died and had to be replaced. The easiest way to take these off, and definitely do not touch the sticky part of that with your finger, because that's going to make the clear part look opaque, and then it's going to not look very good on your nail. So I try to look at which one would fit the nail the best, pick one that I like, and then use tweezers to gently peel that off. I'm going to try to bend the back of this clear thing to have the little corners stick up. Peel it off with tweezers, and then, like I said, do not touch the back of it, and position it somewhere on the nail, and maybe like that. Smush it down. I did cure the nails first because I wanted to make sure that all of my nail stickers cured, and I'm not sure if putting this decal on top will prevent maybe the area under it from curing. You might notice that I'm wearing UV protective gloves. That's because I don't want premature skin aging on my hands. I did have somebody make fun of me in the comments about that. But when you do nails regularly like I do, and you stick your hands under UV light like I do, all of that cumulatively adds up to some damage. And I do see what sun can do over time, like looking at some of my older friends and my family, and I definitely want to avoid that, and UV falls into that same category for me. You can definitely just put sunscreen on if you prefer, but I like the gloves. They're very inexpensive and available on Amazon. I'll put a link in the description box. Because I did the stickers and because I prefer the look of having a top coat on, I will apply the top coat. It's an optional step, but it helps prolong the wear of the stickers. It also helps the manicure look better and more professional because it caps or hides this weird nail and then sticker look on the edges. I actually love the Jelcie top coat. I have used this with other brand stickers a lot because this is just a one step. You don't need a separate base and a separate top, and you don't need to have an alcohol wipe to wipe down the tacky layer after you cure. It cures nice and smooth and not sticky, so it's just a one-step thing, and you just cure it for 60 seconds. You know, to sort of twirl the bottle instead of shaking it up and down. You don't want too much to go into the lid and then potentially drip on your nails while you apply. Swirl the little brush out and make sure there are no clumps. And I always start with the free edge. Cap that. I mention this in every one of my nail videos. The reason I start with the free edge is because that creates a little bump right here toward the top of the nail, and if you cap the free edge last, you will probably be left with that bump. After that, I apply a thin, somewhat even layer, trying not to go over the cuticle or the skin, and you also don't want to put too much on, because if you have too much gel on, sometimes it will buckle and distort when you cure. I repeat this process on all nails and then cure them for 60 seconds. These are now cured and looking extra shiny. The free edge, in my opinion, looks so much better when you do the gel on it. because it is no longer just a separate, very obvious nail and then sticker on top. It all looks kind of like one unit now. Of course, if you have any questions or have recommendations on what brand I should try next, please leave me a comment. And you can see how these wear by following me on Instagram at KBeautyHobbit and checking out my nails highlight. You can also visit my blog, KBeautyHobbit.com, and my Facebook group, Korean Beauty Fanatics. We recently got to 75,000 members, which is unbelievably amazing. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you have a great day. I'll see you in my next video. Until then, please remember to always listen to your skin. Thank you so much. Bye.